I think that just makes my world. Another reason I do it is because I love how it comes through, and what I say is helpful for me also. Like all these stuff, I'm like, wow, I need to write that down, you know. And I was giving a lecture one time on numerology, and what came out was numbers heal. That's what they do. That came out of my mouth, and I almost like stopped the lecture because I was like, whoa. Because it's true when you find like that there is some pattern, there's some meaning. It's not all random. You can stop blaming yourself, stop blaming someone else. You know, you can start to kind of distill what's going on and see a clear path. I'm sorry, I talked over you.
No, that's fine. Now, have you ever done these numbers with somebody that actually you got the impression like they're pure evil or anything like that, or they were going to do something evil or bad or something that they shouldn't do in their life?
No, I haven't. Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, I've consulted a lot of people, and some of them are having affairs. They want to know when the person is going to leave their spouse. You know, that kind of thing. So you can say that something like that. Sometimes, you know, people have a heavy, dark vibe, and they just want to fight. And I don't read those people.
Yeah.
I try and get out in front of it because that's a learning process. Also, I used to, and I'm not saying I can tell all the time, but I have gotten good, or the force has gotten good at knowing, even before I answer a call sometimes, if it's not, you know, an appointment, whether I should take them on as a client. Sometimes I just don't. I say, I can't reach you. I can't reach you.
Okay, I was just kind of curious, like if somebody, you know, could have been like a mass killer or somebody was thinking about, you know, doing something bad, and you read the numbers and you picked up like something, you know, bad is going to happen to them. I just was kind of curious on that.
No, if I sense that something weird is going on, I will end the reading. I try to inject, I try and get out of the way as much as possible so the light comes through. And folks that are not interested in dealing with the light don't last in a reading. Don't last in a reading and don't really call me. So that's what happens. I know that when I haven't done my spiritual work, my clients are different. So that's another reason why I keep it up. But yeah, and of course, I mean, maybe you're going in this direction. There are folks out there that do use numbers to do negative things. I mean, because numbers have power. That's, you know, you see that all over with different events, and you can point to so many things.
Well, put it this way. Let's say you're an executive in a company and you want to move up, and you get let's say the boss's date of birth and all that stuff. And, you would be able to find out more about them that way, wouldn't you?
Sure, you could. If somebody, I'll tell you this, if somebody asked me about doing something evil, I would not take them. Yeah. And if it was something that I needed to report, I would do that.
Yeah.
I keep strict confidentiality, but if someone was in danger, then, I would take care of that.
Have you ever kept track of how many people, went to you about looking for a relationship to get married, and how many hits you had on how many of your clients got married from what you gave them the information? I mean, it'd be kind of cool, like if you're dating, to actually even find out if you're compatible with the other person, it's certainly a lot better than being married to somebody for 5-10 years and find out it was living hell for 5-10 years.
Yeah, I think I I help people like that every day. There's one client I'm particularly proud of, and she kept asking me if things were going to be okay with the guy she was with. And I said, yes, this is your soulmate. She's like, but we're fighting with it. Like, don't lose it.
Interesting.
And I coached her through it, and this has been for maybe a year. And things are going so well. Now she calls me because she doesn't understand. She can't handle how well it's going. She's like, I want to know what's going on. What's really going on?
Oh, wow.
It was going so well because we have spun it because we're looking at things differently. Because there are two sides to the story, and I will say this also. Sometimes when people are having difficulty in a relationship and they don't know how to get out of it, sometimes they don't want to get out of it, and sometimes they want the difficulty because without the difficulty, there's no relationship.
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes they don't really want. They don't want to hear the truth, and I'm not the sex numerologist for them.
Oh, wow.
But I'm sorry.
I said, wow.
Yeah, well, it's kind of how it is. Sometimes you have an energetic pattern that you developed in childhood, maybe with a certain parent, and it was, you couldn't get the love you needed, and you developed an energetic pattern that is still replaying in your energy field. It's like relationships get to a certain point, and then, there's a dust up, and you lose it, but at the same time, that's all you know. So it's like that will keep happening. And so if someone comes to me and they want to know how do I have a good relationship, then we go back to the source and we reroute the energy. We say, okay, you had, and a lot of times, I will say this for you also, 9s have family issues, okay? And they hate authority,
Mm-hmm.
right? So a lot of times we have to go back to, often it's a dominator in the family, and we have to see, okay, what happened with that person, and now how is it replaying? How is that scenario replaying itself in your life? And once you eyeball it, it's only open, then you can let it go. Because when you don't know what's happening, the relationships are always the same. Like we get close and then it just blows up. Why? Why can't I meet the one? Okay, well, it's because there's an energetic. It's like a morphogenetic field. It's like there's an energetic field, and you have to change the shape. And there are different ways to change the shape. And you can shift in a phone call, or you can do exercise and really make your intention to change how you look at things, and you will slowly attract different people and attract the relationship you want, if truly you want that. And sometimes people are not ready for that, but that's something that I do.
Oh, wow. Now, you said you've been doing YouTube videos and stuff. How would they look? How would they find you on YouTube?
Okay, it's Miss M Numerology. Miss M Numerology, and then you can find my forecast, and the last forecast is the forecast for 2018, and I've already had some hits on it, and I put some comments beneath, like what has already happened, including the swings in the stock market and all that sort of thing. So you can check that out. My Facebook page is Miss M's Number U, and my Instagram is on my YouTube. I think it's my Instagram is Mandarava Churchill, I think. I'm not sure, the Instagram. It's fun, but there are certainly there's room for improvement. There's just been a lot of growth. So it's like, I'm spinning the plates, and so anyway.
And
Instagram not big, but we're getting.
Have you done any books yet, or anything, or planning to do any books?
No, there is. I am planning for a book. But I don't have a book yet. So I don't have a whole lot to sell unless you're in California and you want to reach out to me. I am Miss M888 at gmail.com, and you are interested in classes. You can inquire. You have to apply. So that's what we're doing right now. And then I do readings. So I am. A book is it's gelling. It's gelling right now.
Uh-huh.
But can I say something about?
Please do. It's your dime. Go ahead.
It's fine. Okay. So there's a new movie out called Black Panther, and since this is an 11th Universal year, and this movie's taking over the world right now, and I just saw it the other night. I like to, if something is really like hitting hard, and I just want to know the numbers, because oftentimes we can glean a lot from the numbers. So it was released on an 11 day.
Uh-huh.
And the star of the movie, Chadwick Boseman, is an 11. So did they plan to hire him because he was an 11? No, he's a very charismatic actor. Okay, fine. But it's certainly working well with this movie, and I do not think it was an accident that it was released on an 11 day. I mean, Hollywood. This is, they're the dream makers.
Uh-huh.
Then the 11 controls the dimmer switch. So I just thought that was really, really interesting. And that's, just for the Hollywood aspect. And there's so much to talk about with Hollywood, and, certainly with relationships. I talked about this the other show, but I did want to mention also, the Me Too movement and, the sexual harassment scandals.
Uh-huh.
They were just taking people out left and right, and some for very good reason, thank goodness, But there were a couple of people that, remained standing even with a mountain of evidence against them, and one of them was Roy Moore, and the other one is Geraldo Rivera. And with Roy Moore, we still don't have any hard evidence. It could all be faked.
Uh-huh.
It could all be faked. But what was interesting to me was that people who had been accused with the same type of stories and no concrete evidence dropped like a stone. And yet Roy Moore continued to run for the Senate, and he continued to get donations for his campaign. In fact, he started to get more donations. And I thought that was really interesting. I'm like, okay, what's really going on here? Because there are politicians, were being accused of a lot less, and they were just resigning, falling out of the picture, don't want to deal with anything, and he's proclaiming his innocence, even though like some other folks did as well, and still. So that was when I was like, what's going on there? And then Geraldo Rivera wrote a book, which is like a sexual harassment manual. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And he I think he said sorry, and no one is going after him. At least if they are, I don't share any, claims. Certainly he apologized to Bette Midler. He did something awful to her, and certainly in his book there are lots of details about what he did.
Uh-huh.
So I looked at their numbers, and they're both 11. They're both 11, and that's pretty significant. Now I'm not saying that 11s are evil. 11s, what I'm saying is 11s control the room. 11s have a tremendous charisma, and they, like I said before, they control the dimmer switch. So they know how to navigate these crazy waters. And I just found that fascinating that all these other people, Al Franken, even not an 11 in sight, just like boom. And Roy Moore, we don't know. Geraldo, we know, and they're pretty serious.
Yeah.
So